From a technical perspective, is Dojo different from other JavaScript toolkits, such as jQuery, for example?
Sure. So Dojo is similar and different to jQuery. jQuery itself is a very small, lightweight library that you can link in as a script into a web page. And then it allows you to go and create, there's thousands of plugins out there that have been contributed by various third parties in addition to the jQuery organization. It's a DOM manipulation library. It uses chaining in terms of technically from a programmer's perspective. You chain API calls together in a very simple, lightweight way. Dojo also can do that kind of approach, and we have other approaches as well. The big difference between, even though at its core Dojo has chaining capabilities and it has a lightweight core, is that Dojo has thousands of plugins that go with it. They're all pulled together under one distribution. So it's almost like apples and oranges to compare Dojo the toolkit to jQuery. If you take Dojo core or Dojo's DOM manipulation and query library, that would be a more accurate comparison to jQuery. So jQuery, when we're building enterprise class applications, our enterprise customers, they're building these apps that are strategic in nature as well as one-off applications. For those strategic apps that are going to be there for a long time, they want to know how good is the library that they're using at n-1 compatibility, version to version, how consistent are those libraries kept up, and when you've got those thousands of plugins that you want to pick and choose from those, so you don't have to go write them yourself. Well, if you're picking and choosing from them and they all have different licensing, you don't know who the developers were, so there may be pedigree concerns. You may want them to version together. So when that core small lightweight library that does the DOM manipulation is revved version to version, you want to make sure that all the downstream plugins rev accordingly and are tested and QA'd accordingly. And if there's patterns and best practice and principles around things like I18N, globalization, accessibility that are put into the core toolkit, you want to have those things applied consistently across the 1,000 plugins that are there. That's a different story. If you're a web designer and you're building a website, a single-page website that's consumer-facing, that's why you don't see Dojo on that, the top 1,000 websites as frequently as other toolkits like jQuery. That's more the designer. I'm putting a single page together. When you're building an enterprise app that has many pages, many views, that's being used worldwide, globalized, by users of all different capabilities in terms of their physical capabilities. Something like Dojo that has that consistency, the version, the stability, that maturity, that can start small and grow out into thousands of different capabilities, whatever you need to use, and has been thought out and designed that way, is very important. So those are really the reasons why IBM has stuck with Dojo now for a number of years, and will continue to do that in our strategy.